everybody, Aaliyah here. We are going to get into Law of Attraction today, Abraham Hicks style. You know how we do it over here. We've got 3 Abraham lessons for today that we're going to go over in depth. So number 1, to give you a little heads up, desire without resistance is manifested. Number 2, nothing can grow beyond your emotional response. And number 3, why we got to leave others out of the equation. So let's dive into number 1 over here. Desire without resistance is manifested. Here's the quote, and then we'll talk about it. Could I think too little about my desire for it to manifest? Actually, no, because as the contrast launches the desire, and then you do not offer any opposing thought, then you're letting it in, and it will manifest. Many of our physical friends really believe that they must find a desire and then hold tenaciously to it. And we say you do not need to do that. Let the variety of your life keep balance in your life. And you just concentrate on holding. Let me back up because this is it, right? You just concentrate more on holding yourself in the good feeling place where you're letting it in. So here's the nugget to first understand, right? When we experience contrast, and what is contrast, right? Contrast is the crappy things that happen to us, right? The contrast is the flat tire, the unexpected bill, the relationship that went sour. Contrast is the things that we don't like. And the purpose of that contrast is whenever something crappy happens, there's an opportunity to say, what I want is this. The desire is this. I want the opposite. And we could, but most of the time we're not doing this. So most of the time we need the contrast in order to actively be growing, in order to have the material to actively want new things and actively expand. So when that contrast happens, there is a desire that is born. And if we actually just did not offer any opposing thought, that desire would manifest easily. So the idea here is that as soon as we launch that rocket of desire, as soon as we want something that pulses out of us, that will actually be manifested as long as we don't do what we actually do, which is start offering resistance. Well, I want this, but I don't have this. I want this, but I don't know how it's going to come. I want this, but I don't have the money. I don't know how to do. I'm not sure what step to take in my life. And that's all resistance, right? Resistance is yucky, right? Resistance is the things you think and say and feel that's just like, ugh, right? Resistance is those little sprinkles of negativity where you're just like, that's the resistance. And so we have to look at that resistance because that's the only damn thing that's keeping us from everything. If we were able to just go through life, have contrast, give the desire, and then let it come, wouldn't that be wonderful? But then the resistance comes. So here's the thing, right? The whole work is now reducing resistance. But if we actually actively say, I need to get rid of this resistance, now we are looking at the resistance, and now we're have like resistance to the resistance. Now we're activating the resistance, and we can't actually do that. So what we have to do is we have to always jump the train tracks. We always have to go on the other side and say, how do I reduce resistance? Well, the last line of this quote was really good. You just concentrate on holding yourself in the good feeling place where you're letting it in. So no matter what we do in Law of Attraction, no matter what conversation we're having, it always boils down to us making this decision and making it a practice that regardless of what's going on in our life, regardless what we actually see, regardless of what actually happened, that we are holding ourselves in a good feeling place. Because we actually cannot, I repeat myself, we cannot be offering resistance while feeling good at the same time. So as we are actively feeling good, the resistance is not there at that moment. And then as soon as we stop feeling good, as soon as we stop intentionally busting out the good vibes, that resistance might pop up if that has been dominant in your thought patterns. So this quote is letting us, just reminding us that we can desire, and if we are not offering resistance, which means if we are constantly offering good vibes, everything will come easily. So there's a little food for thought. By the way, if you're kind of into this stuff, I absolutely invite you to subscribe to my channel. There might even be like a little bell down there, and you hit that and then you get the notification. So when my weekly video pops up, you're the first to know about it. And then you can also like the video. Super helpful. Tells YouTube that we got something good going on here. So anyways, let's dive into lesson number 2 for the week. Nothing can grow beyond all of our emotional response. Here's a quote, and yes, of course, we're going to talk about it. In your moving yourself up the emotional scale, your business will begin to prosper in new and profound ways. Your business, your relationships, your finances cannot grow beyond your emotional response. Nothing can grow beyond your emotional response. Everything matches your set point of emotions on every subject that exists. Okay, so the first thing here, what was the very first thing? And you're moving up the emotional scale. Let's talk about what is the emotional scale. The emotional scale is acknowledging that there's a spectrum of emotions. At the rock bottom is despair, hopelessness, depression. Gets a little bit better as we move up, right? Being angry is better than hopeless and in despair, right? So then you get to angry. So that's all the bottom of the emotional scale. On the top, you have knowing, thriving, joy, laughter, progress, feeling everything, right? True happiness, true satisfaction. But then you've got a lot of things in the middle, right? So we were down here at despair, we got to angry, and then we can start inching our way up this emotional scale, right? Then we get to frustration, being annoyed, pissed off. That's kind of all in the next step, right? Then we're just kind of like blah. And then we get to kind of this neutral zone where we're just like, everything, I don't know, it's not bad, it's not good. In neutrality, we have a lot of uncertainty. Like, I'm just not sure. We say those kind of things a lot. I'm just not really sure what I want. I'm not really sure, but whatever. And then we kind of tip the scale. We start going on the positive side, right? Now we're talking about, hey, things are all right. Hey, it seems like I'm feeling a little bit better. I actually relaxed. I actually had a good time yesterday. Things are doing pretty good. We're starting to be hopeful. Now we're moving up, right? Now things are actually manifesting. It's like, whoa, I got this phone call. It's exactly what I needed. Or, whoa, like some sort of like money came in the mail and I wasn't even expecting it. Or, oh, like I submitted my resume and they got back to me really quick, right? We're moving up. So now we're like hopeful and we're seeing it and we're feeling good and we're feeling the groove, right? Swagger comes in here at some point, right? We're kind of feeling it. And then we get to feeling good, feeling great, thriving, knowing. So the emotional scale is important to understand, because if you're down here at anger and you're trying to get to joy, that SHIT is not going to work, right? That won't work because it's too far of a jump. You have to go through all the emotions, not all of them, but you have to cruise gently through that in order to reach it. This happened to me actually a week or two ago. I got angry at somebody and I realized, oh wow, I'm like just got some kind of not good vibes going on and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, come on, Aaliyah, like snap out of it. Like, this is all on you. It's not on them. Like, where's your positivity? Like, let's try to get in a good vibe. And I was up and I was trying to feel positive. And then I remembered I have to go through the emotional scale. I can't jump there. It's too far of a jump. And so what I did, and the pursuit of joy from anger is relentless. It's tiring. It's frustrating. So finally I remembered I can't jump over there. I need to do a baby jump. So I asked myself, all right, could I just not care? Could I try to shift from anger to neutral? Can I do that? Can I shift that? And so then as I asked myself on the couch, late at night, okay, can I just kind of close my eyes and reach for neutrality, reach for not caring, can I just be satisfied without being positive? Can I just be satisfied and just like kind of blanking this out and just not caring? And then I was able to do it. I was able to shift in there. And then in that space, I was like, this feels better. In that moment, because I was in anger, it felt better to be in neutral. It felt better to not care. And so then with that, I was able to relax and I was able to raise my baseline energy. And from there, the next day, I was able to pop back up to positivity. So understanding the emotional scale and setting realistic goals for yourself on what you're shooting for is really important so you can actually get there. So what happens, I'm looking back at the quote here. So what happens is that we realize that everything in our life matches the set point. So if we are on average frustrated, we're going to be manifesting more things that will generally make us frustrated. If we are on average pretty happy, we are going to be generally manifesting things that make us happy. But the key here, the lesson, I come back to the lesson, nothing can grow beyond our emotional response. So if on that emotional scale, you're living a lot at stuck or frustrated or uncertain or just kind of okay, and you're doing no work to shimmy your way up that scale, then you can't grow and experience anything outside of that. And so what you want to do is realize, where am I on this scale? And then try to reach for something easy. And then you move up. And then your baseline moves up. And then move a little bit further. And then a little bit further. And as you travel up this emotional scale, you start manifesting things in your life that are matching your new set point. And that is how we grow and live outside of our current belief system. So really, really, really good to remember and let yourself off the hook for trying to be positive if you're just nowhere in the vicinity of positive. All right, this is a good time to remind you. You can also comment. So you can throw some comments down there. Let me know if you like this, if you have any questions, if you have a question pertaining to your life, throw it down there and I will respond. And if you haven't liked the video already, well, that would be awesome. So let's dive into our last quote, our last lesson for the day. Leave others out of the equation. Easier said than done, right? All right, well, let's look at the quote and talk about it a little bit more. Your joy factor will remain constant as you are continually refining your ideas of what you want. And that's why it is so important for you to get everybody else out of the equation. They've got their own game going on. They don't understand your game. Give them a break. Stop asking them what they think. Start paying attention to how you feel. Joy will be yours immediately, and everything else that you have ever thought would make you happy will start flowing seamlessly, effortlessly into your experience. So this is a great reminder, right? When we are concerned about others, when we're trying to bring them in, when we're trying to figure out what they're thinking, when we're trying to do all of that stuff, we're breaking our own good vibes, right? We are bringing a lot of messy things because in any given moment, we are either sending out messages of having something or we're sending out messages of lack of something. And without anybody else, we can dial in. When I do this, it's lack. When I do this, it's having. And the only piece to this game is realizing when I'm feeling lack, can I shift into having? And if we are then concerned with what other people are thinking, just like Abraham's talking about in this quote, we are now bringing all of their messy vibration in. And now we are giving away our power by saying, oh, now I need your thoughts in order to be lined over here. It's never about the idea. There's no such thing as right decisions or wrong decisions. The only thing there is decisions that make you feel good or bad. And if sometimes it doesn't even matter what the decision is. You just have to make one and align yourself with it. And then you can sit back saying, this was good, this was good, this was good, this was good. So the whole idea here is start paying attention to how you feel. Our emotions, Abraham tells us all the time, our emotions are our GPS system. When we are feeling good and joy, that is the direction we go in. When we are feeling something yucky, turn around immediately. And just what other people have to say is irrelevant unless you're asking them, hey, any tips on how I can align my energy? Because at the end of the day, everything at the basis is aligning our energy, aligning our emotions, practicing our emotions. But if you're trying to get somebody to approve of what you do, now you're dealing with all of their messy vibration. And now you're making something conditional that doesn't need to be conditional. So when we leave others out of the equation, when we realize that's not helpful, when we realize they do not have the answers, right? When we don't need their opinions, when we're not trying to make somebody happy, we can actually come back and say, what is good for me? What is good for me? How do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? I'm not sure. Okay, let me stop looking at this. Let me go out for a walk. Let me get a cup of coffee. Let me go do something fun. Let me take a hot shower. Let me start feeling better, and then let me look at this. Okay, well, I'm feeling better, and now I'm looking at a situation, and now okay, I'm kind of having a little bit more clarity. Okay, great. Go back out. Feel better, feel better, feel better. Okay, go back, look at it. And as you do this process of teaching yourself how to feel better and then looking at what's going on, you realize that only thing that matters is feeling better. And as you feel better, everything comes out clear. And if you want a little like superpower boost to this, love, the vibration of love and clarity are certainly next door neighbors. So rather than even just thinking, how do I feel better? We can ask yourself, how do I love right now? Who can I love? What can I love? How can I be that instinctual person I am, that is a being who loves, that's able to love, that is able to appreciate and breathe and just send out good vibes? And so as you actually set the priority in your life to feel good and be a loving individual, you'll have more clarity than anybody in the whole world could give you. So leave everybody out of the equation and set your intention to feeling good, sending out love, and realizing that when you do that, your path is lit up. Your path is absolutely lit up. So absolutely love that you guys are here with me. This was really fun. Join me, stick around, comment, subscribe, follow. There's even a link in the About section called, there's a Linktree/Aaliyah. Those are the links to everywhere I hang out: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and where I actually also do some teaching. So if you want more, that's where you would find it. Till then, have an awesome week. Choose one of these tips, practice it, and I'll see you again soon.